Hi, good morning. This will be my MRP proposal presentation. So this will be my topic. I will be looking into four different IVs and across the three chapters. So this will be the three chapters that I'll be presenting. So what will be so I'll be focusing at the fashion jewelry segment, which is actually within the fashion accessories industry. Significant potential growth potential that is being projected. And in fact, in Malaysia, in 2025, the statistics have actually shown that 88% of the valuation of the jewelry market actually falls under fashion jewelry. So what are we looking at here? We'll be looking at four different IVs: online communities, brand experience, uh, privacy, safety of delivery. And before we go in depth into that four IVs, so this will be the study problem, right? The research problem that we are having now. So in generally businesses, we all know that technology advancement has actually welcomed more competitors because everyone now actually sell online. And more specific to the business, in fashion jewelries, we all know that now there is a condition whereby, especially young consumers, they actually like to go into online communities, to make a reference with the user generated content. And again, the concern of logistic fulfillments, the concern of privacy, and also whether or not the brand actually engage with them nicely. So this is a specific business challenge that we have now, and what is the consequences of solution that we want to derive. So in fact, we want the businesses to actually retain their customers rather than losing them. And of course, ultimately, we want the businesses to earn. So this will be my DV, customer loyalty. And as I mentioned, the ultimate goal is to help the fashion jewelry e-business to retain their loyal customers, especially the young undergraduates, all right, while addressing the concerns such as online communities, brand experience, safety of delivery, and privacy concern. So these IVs and DVs is actually obtained from the published research thesis by Fatin and Vita. And there are two potential variables that's not included as efficiency, rather more website user friendliness. No, or it's not being included as well as a recovery this potential variable because researcher believe that once the logistic fulfillment, safety of delivery of items is boosted, so the recovery will actually drop tremendously. So the focus is still on the logistic fulfillment, safe delivery of items. So the population that we're talking about here is young undergraduates, all right, in Selangor, the age of 18 to 24 years old. And why this group? Because they prioritize personal lifestyle, and in fact, they like to go on social media and they like to prove themselves, their social identity through the social fashion usage of fashion accessories. So this is something that we need to look into here in this research. So the RO, RQ, and also the hypothesis will later be addressed in the summary. So we will focus now on the research significance. So four IVs. Why online communities? Because there is research saying that these days a lot of young generations they like to they're very into the user generated content. So we want to see if in the present case does it actually contributes to the customer loyalty. And again, consistency in delivering experience that is being argued by other researchers that yes, it is something that is being looking after by chasing after by Gen Z and millennials. So we want to see if uh, there's a similarity of that here in our present research context and whether or not it does contribute to our TV. And in Vietnam, the privacy concern is at the optimal level. So if let's say it's not being addressed, then they will actually decline for the engagement with the site, which means no purchase from them anymore. Loyalty becomes zero, potentially. So whether or not there is something similar here in Selangor. And same goes to IV4, safety of delivery in Malaysia. The elements of timeliness and reliability, yes, is tip-top, has to be there because it's a sign of customer centricity. So we are looking into that, if whether or not it actually there is a similarity here in Malaysia, especially in Selangor, and it does contribute to the DV. Limitation, unfortunately, we have too many undergraduates in Selangor. Impossible for the researcher to reach out to each of them. So what the researcher does is researcher will only be focusing on one prominent tertiary institution in Selangor to work on the research. And there's also a chances that the respondent will actually deliver responses in a socially desirable manner. Here comes the bias. And lastly, there's an exclusion of the type of digital platform that we're talking about here. So our researcher has actually excluded that. So chapter 2, we'll be talking on underpinning theory. What is the underpinning theory that we'll be using is social capital theory. Yeah. So all our IVs can actually be linked to it. So for example, online communities actually can be seen as a platform where social capital can be created. Brand experience is basically aligned with the dimension of motivation, ability, and privacy and safety of delivery can actually be associated with trust. So with the trust, with the motivation, and again with the platform, whereby the communities they can actually interact the members, so we can actually contribute to this social capital. So these are the so now I will be talking in depth about the DV and IVs. So the DV and IVs here, again, DV is customer loyalty. So we want to see, is it true that here in Selangor, the businesses should in fact retain? Of course, they should retain, because it has been proven that in other research that it's cheaper to retain the customers and then existing customer, then they obtain a new one. And of course, we can see that there are many other loyalty programs that has been deployed by the businesses to retain their customers, right? And what is the definition of customer loyalty is indeed how to make to have customers that are happy with the product and they can actually voluntarily speak or promote the brand. So what is the contribution? We want to see if we want to see how young undergraduates in Selangor who always purchase fashion jewelry regularly from the fashion jewelry e-business define customer loyalty. This is what we are looking at. And of course, when they are subject to the multiple IVs that is being addressed in this research. So this is a key contribution of this research. Other key contribution here will be to look at how online communities, or like for example IV1, we all know that consumers like to go on to the online communities. I mean, young consumers, they like to go online to check to cross-checking to see, like for example, Muda and Khan actually says that yes, for beauty product, there are many youngsters who actually, young consumers actually go online and to check before they buy. So I want to see if that actually corresponds here in our present research context. Brand experience, yes, we know that here there's a Wulandari. The researcher actually found out that brand experience is actually one of the important factors in building customer loyalty. So we want to prove that. We want to see if it actually works here in our it actually reflects the same similarity in the current research. Privacy, again, we want to look into that because we know that whether or not if privacy concern is not being addressed by among the young undergraduates, whether or not it actually affect them to be loyal to the fashion jewelry e-business. Sector delivery, again, we're looking at whether or not it impact. What's the impact? Does it reflect the same thing? Because some other country it says that yes, seamless logistic fulfillment actually enable long-term relationship with the customers, and we're looking at that as well. So see how it affects the consumer loyalty. So this is a summary like what I mentioned just now. this is our research objective, and this will be our question and hypothesis. So ultimately, for example, online communities, ultimately we want to prove that, we hope to prove that there is a positive impact on the customer loyalty. Same goes to brand experience, privacy, safety of delivery. All right, so we want to prove that, in fact, privacy concern, if whether or not they actually impact. If let's say the companies addressed it well, would it actually constitute to a better chance of customer being loyal? All right, same goes to safety of delivery. So this is a research model for IVs towards the same DV. So the research method that we'll be using here will be philosophy, positivism, deductive, that's the approach, and again is a quantitative research, and is the time horizon is cross-sectional, all right? And the research purpose is basically to examine the influence of online communities, all the IVs, 4 IVs, towards the customer loyalties among young undergraduates for fashion, jewelry, e-business, and Selangor. So the study setting this will be the study setting. Target population is actually the young undergraduates age 18 to 24 years old that is residing in Selangor. All right, and we have base amount 679K, and so sorry, my apologies. The target population that we have in Malaysia is 679K. All right, these are the group of young undergraduates that we have in Malaysia, and the study population is actually those that base in Selangor. So there's 488,000 of them. All right. So what will be the sampling technique? So I will be following the Kirchi and Morgan sampling method. All right, which I also assume a 95% confidence level and 5% of marginal error. So according to this method, if the study population is within 100K and below, is above 100K and below 1 million, then the recommended sample size will be 383. So this will be the sample size that I will be looking at, 383, all right, in the real run. So research instrument that I will be deploying is actually an online survey using a Google form. All right. So as I mentioned, all the IVs and in fact the DV is being adopted from the published thesis done by Fatin or Rita. So we are looking. So they are using the 5 points Likert scale. There are 5 items for IV1, 2, 3, and DV. That's 6 items of IV4. Unfortunately, researcher can't get any information about the validity, but yes, researcher can, can retrieve the Cobra alpha. So in fact, all of them are actually above 0.7, so which means it's quite reliable. And again, test pilot has been done on 30 respondents. So 28 of them actually is under 21 to 23 years old, and then there's 2 of them that are actually coming from 18 to 20. And whether or not is this a good data, after the pilot test, researcher has done a quick analysis, and in fact the reliability interpretation are mostly good when it comes to privacy, safety of delivery, customer loyalty, and the other 2 are actually acceptable. So it's still okay. So these are the outcomes. So the researcher is hoping that all the hypotheses can be achieved. All right. And if you have any questions, please feel free to come to me. All right. This will be my contact, and this will be my other references. Thank you.